We wanted to tell and share our testimony today because I think so often you know us from our role here with youth and children, but our story is so much more than that, and why stewardship here matters to us. For me, I grew up in a home where tithing wasn't optional. You were given a little white envelope, and it was a very big deal, and you were going to put your money in it. But I felt so special when I was old enough to get an allowance. I was given $1. And out of that dollar, I was taught 10 cents goes into that envelope. 10% goes. As a kid, that was a lot of money because to get a drumstick on Fridays, it was 3 dimes. So you mean 3 dimes was my ice cream money and 10 cents went to the church? But that's how I grew up. That's how I knew that tithing was important. It never wasn't a choice. It's just what you did. You gave to God first. I saw it modeled in my parents. I saw going to my dad's dresser on Sundays. And even as a pastor, he had his envelope there each week. His name and my mom's name with the amount filled out. And I knew what it meant to give of our money. It mattered.
It does matter, and so one of the things that kind of drew me to Westminster was this story that we actually shared in our Bible study this morning, and it was about this congregation, and it's the people here that came together to help repay millions of dollars in medical debt for people in Arlington. I don't know, not being a member and involved with that, I don't know the details, but
North Texas.
That was amazing to me. It spoke to me that a church of this size could come together and make a big difference in people's lives. It was really powerful, and it's really a testament to y'all and to what brought us here, part of what brought us here, to see that level of commitment to helping other people.
But you came into our lives long before we became members here. See, you don't know this, but Westminster was a part of our story before we knew we would call this a church home. You see, back 2016, 2017, my dad went in for a very simple heart procedure. All they were going to go and do is go put a stent in. Not a problem at all. This was a very simple process. I talked to Kate about it. I talked to Sandra and Dawn that I wouldn't be able to deliver New Day this week. I needed to be in Abilene. My brother and I got up that morning. We went to the hospital. He was going to have the best surgeon, the best anesthesiologist, who went to school with my brother. By the way, like that, they should not be that young doing that. But see, the doctors came out. And the doctor said, "We have to take him back again, and you need to say goodbye. You need to say goodbye because there's 4 blockages. He's 90% blocked. He had a heart attack on the table, and we're going to try to fix it." But as they wheeled him out Hendrick Medical Hallway, that doctor came to my brother and I and my mom and said, "Say goodbye." We did say goodbye, but you know what? His story wasn't over. God wasn't done with him. His story is living on in his ministry in Abilene, Texas. But when I went through that and my heart was breaking, Earlene Pike came on behalf of WPC and loved on us. Linda, you wrote us congregational care cards. Pastor Kate, you had me in your office and said, "Sit and cry." WPC was a part of our story long before we knew it. But then my grandmother passed, and you reached out again. "We aren't members of your church. What are you doing? Why are you doing this?" But you did. Over and over, you loved on us. Dawn and Sandra, you always made me know that I was loved as a volunteer at New Day. You made sure that I knew that people loved our family and prayed for us. And so, when I look at you as a congregation, the reason that stewardship matters is because what you do for your community. Your compassion moved me out of my comfort zone. I was comfortable where I was, but seeing your compassion, you're a church I want to be a part of. The way you give and you love people, always.
You said it. I think that's it.
No, you were going to tell them about the work day.
I know, but you just took it home. That's perfect. Like that's why we give to Westminster. It's the people. It's the community. And I did have something else to say, but I don't need to say it because it's all of you, and that's why we're here, and that's why we support and give our time and our earnings and our I don't know if we have anything else to give, but we give it, and we're happy to do so, and we're happy to be a part of this community.
No, but I like what you and I were talking about was, I'm not going to let him skip it, sorry.
So what I said as we were...
It matters because we talk about giving our time. And you came up here and did mulch. You'll do it? Because if not, I'm going to keep going. Okay, fine.
So...
It's no wonder you married me, right?
You know, we're between them and lunch. So we were kind of brainstorming what we were going to talk about, and you know, one of the other things that kind of hit me was last weekend there was a giant pile of mulch out in the playground area, and you know, I'd been recruited, voluntold by Pastor Kate to participate in the moving of said mulch with a bunch of other ladies and gentlemen. And so, you know, I took Reed with me, and we showed up, and we didn't really know what we were getting ourselves into, but we started raking leaves, and we both looked at each other like I thought we were here to move mulch. And after we raked up a bunch of leaves, then the mulch started moving, and it reminded me of my childhood. I grew up in a small northern Minnesota town. I grew up in a small Lutheran church. And you know, we did things like that. We came together and you know did things for the better of the community, the better of the church, the better of the just people in general. And in the time I've lived in Arlington, I haven't had that same connection, or I haven't seen that at other churches that we've been a part of or visited. And so it just hit me as this kind of feels like nostalgic home. This is great for our youth to be able to see, you know, people coming together for a common cause, and working together, having fun, laboring for the church, and that's my little story. So,
I think we just want to tell you though that you give so much, and you've already given to our family, and that's why we give to WBC. We give with our money, but we also give with our time. And thank you for being perfect examples of that and wanting to include us.